shadow of decay I rise, typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With Nurgle's rot I lay worlds to waste. The Reaper's scythe, no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with the twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Vessels walk with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast. And another plague surgery where we look at our... Fucking hell, I'm out of breath, Jesus Christ. Apparently, I thought about this data slate has already got me all heated up and worked up. Yeah, where we look through some of our members' lists and go through basically all the Death Guard things in the world, and we basically diagnose them, go through them, and, just offer advice, offer the feedback that we can, and sort of try and make some cool lists based on what we get submitted. Apologies, I've been playing with Kirby. So, yeah, for those who are new, hi, welcome. I'm Aiden. I am previous year, not the one just gone, rank 1 Death Guard player, and I'm a hardcore competitive Death Guard player, basically. I just play Death Guard, although I'm going to be honest. I am kind of about to cheat on Death Guard. So I'm coming up for a weekend. This weekend coming, I've got 2 RTTs. Two RTTs, one on a Monday, one on the Saturday. And I'm actually dedicating it, I'm committing to it, and I will be taking my Votan to the very first ever tournament. So I'll be playing Votan for a tournament, but do not worry, I'll be back straight with the Death Guard the next RTT afterwards. So that is going to be happening, which is I'm excited for. I'm very excited. That's the first time I'll ever have took something else to a event, which was very cool. But again, I am still obviously Death Guard hardcore at my heart. It's good to see some people in the chat already. We have got some lists, so don't not worry. Quaid says, "Hey, are you still able to review my list? Even though my first comic troll I ever bought when I got into 40k was Necrons." You say you've repented. Okay. The question is, Quaid, are the Necrons still in the house? That's the real thing. That is the real deal here. We need to understand that. We need to understand that. Are the Necrons still in the house? Are they in the premises? If they're not, we're good. If they are, we're going to have a stern talking to. So, just saying. Disgustingly short podcast. Yeah, true. Are we still celebrating the soul-crushing, back-breaking 10-point increase to Catan? I'm going to try and contain myself for tonight, because if I start going, this will be an entire hour of me yelling about the data slate. I'm going to try and save it for tomorrow with Dave and Will, so you can get the full range of my emotions over the data slate, because it was definitely a data slate. It was definitely a data slate. Oh, Quaid, this still. All right, I'll let you off this one time, provided that as soon as this is done, you go out and you literally find those Necrons and you burn them at the stake, okay? It's very important you do that. Very, very important. So, let's jump straight into tonight. We did have a request come through from one of our Death Show members who can't normally make it. He's called Under 100 Calories with a picture of a cake. That is a lie. No cake is under 100 calories. And if it is, it's not a good cake. So, so he said you submitted a list. Let me go find it in the surgery channel. There you are. Virulent Vectorum to start us off. Nice and easy, nice and easy. So, coming in hot with the Demon Prince of Nurgle. We Revolting Regeneration, so the 5-up Feel No Pain. An absolute classic, kind of the staple. If you're playing VV, you're 99% chance got this guy on your list. He's just really good. He's like a mini Mortarion for his points. Really, really good. Then we've got a Lord of Contagion. Obviously 3 strats as well. He's really good in VV because he does have 2 command point stratagems, so it can be quite CP hungry. We've got a Lord of Contagion with Demon Weapon of Nurgle, so he's going to be critting on 5s. Really like that as well. We've got a Lord of Virulence with Furnace of Plagues. Now, I will say right now, off the rip, Furnace of Plagues, I wouldn't really recommend it on the LOV. I think it's a very expensive enhancement. And if you're going to take it, I would just put it on the LOC because he's got the +1 attack and dev wounds has much more impact on a flat damage 3 weapon than it does his damage 2 weapon. So I would consider swapping that. Other than that, I would probably just not bother giving it him. The Lord of Virulence isn't great in combat. He's decent, but he's not great. So if those 25 points can end up getting us anything, that'll be where we're making the first cut here. So then we've also got a Tallyman of Nurgle. Where's Tallyman? There we go. Again, very CP heavy detachment this one. So the Tallyman generating CP in combination with the Demon Prince giving us 3 command point stratagems is going to make it really much better on your CP economy. So we really like that. Now, no Plague Marines at all. We're skipping over all that nonsense. We're going straight in to the 10 Blight Lord Terminators. This has been showing up a lot more. A lot more. And I'm really here for it. I love Blight Lords. I think they're a fantastic unit that gets overlooked by so many people because they're not Death Shroud, and it's ridiculous because they are really good. They shoot way harder than you think. They do a bunch of damage, and they're also just still really tough, especially with -1 damage on there. A big 10-man brick is really resilient to a lot of incoming firepower, so really like to see this. Just don't let Riptides look at them, and spoiler alert, you might be seeing a bit more Tau soon, because they definitely didn't get an absolute fucking joke of a data sheet. Sorry, I'm setting off already. We're not going there though. Happy days today. We got 2 squads of Chaos Spawn, really good utility. I wish I could have 2 squads of Chaos Spawn in every list. If the points allow it, I will definitely do that. But there are some times where, you know, I can only get 1 in, but 2 is really the ideal number. For the points, they are silly, very good trading unit, very good skirmishing piece, really like Chaos Spawn, great contagion spreaders as well. 3 Death Shroud, more than likely going to be joining the Lord of Contagion here, which is really good. 6-inch deep strike. So now, if you unlike me and you can roll 6-inch charges, it's an amazing thing that your opponent has to constantly be aware of. And when it does connect, it can do a bunch of damage. So really good choice to just have in there for, again, it's 260 points, not the cheapest. Sorry, 280 points, not the cheapest thing in the world. With the enhancement, there gets even more expensive. So it does need to get its value back, but it is very powerful for that. Now, we also have 3 HBL drones, so these are heavy blight launch drones, so 3 of these. Again, quite a staple. We have got the LOV here to support, give them the reroll hits rolls of everything, because they're blast weapons. You've also got Virulent Vectorium giving them the ability to mark targets for rerolls to hit, and rerolls to shot amount with the stratagem, sorry. Then we've got 3 Mythic Blight Whores. Again, really love these guys, super self-sufficient, cheap. Don't need them to have many buffs. Like, again, they'll take reroll ones to hit from the Lord of Virulence, but if they're shooting what they want to hit, they're going to be hitting on 2s with +1 to wound. Again, these are all nice little cheap demon engines that keep the list sort of running, because part of that, this is quite an elite package in the middle here. This is quite expensive. Demon Prince is expensive, but these are nice for good skirmishing, trade, and things like that. And 2 squads of Poxwalkers at the end of it all. So grab these. So, this is a pretty solid list. Like, overall, just going to quickly check in with the chat as well before we get into it. Necron presence detected, hard drive check required, Jesus Christ. True, we did get a Winged Demon Prince reduction. We did get that. It's something. Okay, he's agreed to go and burn them. That's great, that's great. Hey, mate, I am not playing Death Guard and I'm still watching videos all the time. If you could start over again with Chaos, would you choose Death Guard or something else? I mean, like, do you mean, like... So it depends on the context there. Do you mean like if I started again and erased my knowledge of everything, so I'd be like, hey, just looking at the game from fresh eyes completely? Or do you mean like my army got blown up in a car crash and now I have nothing, I've got to start from fresh nothing again, and for some reason I've been banned off YouTube for being too short? Like that, would that kind of be the reset? So kind of depends what you're getting at there. If it's going to be I'm a brand newbie, mind wiped, woof, you know, Men in Black, boosh, kind of thing, or if it's going to be a like lost everything, got to start from scratch but with the same knowledge you have today. So kind of there. Let us know which one you're on about there. Just want to say, the day I did a 2D Prince list, they announced Demon Prince with it. Yes, it did, Johnny. You got an extra 15. Just saying, an extra 15 points in that list. Nice. Random flex, but I'm very happy to say I'm 24th in the world in Death Guard. Excellent work there, Mr. Ruthless. Well done, mate. Always happy to see people doing well with Death Guard. Excellent, man. Keep it up, keep it up, keep pushing. Break that top 20, man. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Right, so this list here, very cool. Very, very staple. We do have Poxwalkers, which are really important for being able to have lone operative on the Demon Prince. That's really nice. Now, the one thing that's sort of iffy in this kind of list is that the Lord of Virulence is very hotly debated. The Lord of Virulence is great. Obviously, he joins these guys. He gives them real ones to hit. He's going to give them 4 rolls to wound. And then he's going to give these guys at the back here rolls to hit as well. Now, here's the thing, though. With the Lord of Virulence, in Virulent Vectorium, we already have a stratagem for 1 command points for an infantry unit to reroll all hits and wound rolls. So, him actually being in this Death Shroud squad here is actually not as beneficial as you may think. He's good because he obviously means you don't have to spend the command point, but really, it looks like you don't really need him because this can work with a CP investment completely fine. And that means that this 370 point brick no longer has to be 470 point brick, which, well, with this guy especially, it's like 500 points now with the enhancement. So that actually makes this a lot cheaper. Now, that being said, this guy is still good because he does allow you to reroll hit rolls with all these Black Launch drones. And it kind of depends now. Are you consistently finding yourself in your games being able to line up multiple drones at the same target? If you are, the LOV can still have some value. But I'd even consider not running him attached and just running him like a solo deep strike character. He can come in, he can do actions, he can mark things, he can threaten backfield with a cheeky rapid ingress, things like that. If you leave a gap, it's hard to screen out a single 50mm base. But if not, if those things aren't true, you could potentially just cut him from the list, and you get 125 points to play around with there, which is a lot of points when you consider things that could be used on other things here. So again, if you wanted to just go straight into something like, you know, having an extra, same sort of deal where a solo character, Typhus is brilliant for that. Typhus, Roxy and solo. Now, the problem he's going to have here is he's going to make an awkward points thing because he's 100, and we're going to float 25 off the enhancement, so we're going to have 25 points just kind of floating around doing nothing, and we can't spend on anything. But that's not a bad shout either, to have a solo Typhus in there. That's where you'd have to start looking at other things and changing things. Now, there is to be said, you could take out the Lord of Virulence here. You could give the Lord of Contagion the extra enhancement. Now we're only going to waste 10 points because you'd be 110, so they swap their enhancements around. Got 110 floating. That could get you fair few things. Again, if you feel like you prefer the board presence more, you could pick yourself up a third Plague Bearer, a third Poxwalker squad. Again, floats you that awkward 45 points though, which is like then what you get for that. So not really looking towards that there. You could easily just go and swap out for another Demon Engine with a normal bloat drone, for example, with pretty decent. Again, like a normal Spitter drone, a Mower drone, something that can just play forward, do a bit more damage. That's not too bad of a thing that you could have there. I'm trying to think, you could drop to 1 spawn potentially as well, because with him drop that would actually give you 205 points, which gives you a lot of stuff to play. Like, you could drop these two here. Obviously, you haven't actually lost much damage output from this squad because they're still getting 4 rolls to wound. And then for those 200 points, you could actually go and pick up like double Mower drone. And now we're only wasting 5 points in our list. And they perform the same role as the spawn, just a bit more threatening. And obviously, you've now got 2 of them instead of the 1. So you have a bit more skirmishing play. And now you've got like a big sort of like Demon Engine sort of side skew going on. So there's a lot of tough high T9. There's a big amount of T9 here, which can overwhelm your opponents because, again, things that trade efficiently into Demon Engines is not that many. So like this is a list you could go with, where you could have 2 Demon Engines, unit of spawn, big brick of Blight Lords, big scary Death Shroud, Scalpel brick, and then all the Demon Engines to sort of play around with here. You could go with a Demon Prince of Wings, that's been said in chat. The Demon Prince of Wings could also then take the enhancement that was on this guy here, so you could give him a bit more punch. I'm not going to say it's the best thing in the world, but you know, it's an option that you could also potentially go with. You can also bring in a Predator, for example, here as well. You can bring in a Predator, and what's Predator? 145 plus 65, 210. Which does bring us to 125 plus 85 here, 205. It might be 5 points over, you'd have to check, but again, you could potentially drop the other enhancement, you'd have to check here, and that could get you something like this. You get a Predator in there to increase the shooting potential of the rest of the things in the list, and then you get an extra screen unit, more lone oppy stuff, more goodies like that. So there's a couple of ways to go with it, but what you've got there is genuinely a really, really solid core. Like this alone, straight here, is a super solid starting point for a list. But just to be aware, you don't have to attach Lord of Virulence. The Lord of Virulence can easily play solo, but he can attach as well. This list is super solid. Nothing is wrong with it. There is no problem with it. The only thing that is debatable for me, in my heart, is just the LOV's place in the list and whether he needs it. But I would definitely, if you're keeping him, swap the enhancements over. Give the Furnace of Plague to the Lord of Contagion and let him have the Demon Weapon of Nurgle. Yes, he doesn't have Sustained, so he gets less value from it. But again, if you're going to do the +1 attack, plus the Strength as well as a big break point, getting the Lord of Contagion to Strength 10 is huge, because now you obviously charge a vehicle. That's T10, it comes down to T9. Now you're Strength 10 with +1 to wound, you're going to wound it on 2s. It's a big break point for the Lord of Contagion, that. So, honestly, just give any of those little things there of consideration. But honestly, mate, you take this list to an event, you'll do super fine with it. It's not great into Catan meta, I will say right now. Virulent Vectorum sucks into Catan, like, super hard. It has a 27% win rate. It's really bad versus Catan. It just can't deal with it, outside of, like, managing to literally outplay the player on a thingy. But it's the nature of the beast a bit at the moment. Like, and again, I'll save the big rant for tomorrow on the data slate, but it's just kind of the way it is. If your meta's not filled with Catan, you don't got to worry about that. Obviously, if you're playing in a place where there's a bunch of Catan players, then obviously you're going to have a bit of a nightmare. But honestly, that's not something we could fix with a list. That fix for that problem is a detachment fix. You can't... VV just has a terrible matchup into that right now. But it's a good matchup into other things. Like, again, you could do well into Ultramarines with this. You can do pretty well into it. It's not an easy game, but it's not impossible. You beat most armies quite handily. You have a game into most things. It's just a shame that the very top dog of the thing is not very good, like VV's just struggles into. But overall, mate, a really solid list, and thank you for submitting it. And just any of those ideas, give them a try. Meds coming with the 10 gifted memberships, you absolute legend. Thank you so much once again for supporting the channel. Again, if you did get gifted a membership there, go to our YouTube channel homepage. There'll be a button that says See Perks. If you click that, you'll get a link to get in the Discord. Once you're in the Discord, I don't think it's a Discord then, the Discord. Once you're in our Discord, you're in it for life. You'll never get kicked, even if you expires your membership. But go to your settings, connections, and link it to your YouTube, and the bot should do the rest and unlock the full server. Thank you so much again to Meds for getting those people in more Plague Marines for the Legion. Thank you so much, you ongoing legend. Also, Christopher Latta, very $2K super chat. Death Guard every freaking time. The horror aesthetic, the body horror aesthetic. Yeah, I do really like it. So to go, I think that was to answer the question that was put forward from Joe. I was thinking about the perspective of a player who wants to jump into Chaos and needs to decide if he goes for CSM, World Eaters, etc. So, in my head, I like CSM, but CSM suffers from genericness problems, in my opinion. Like, when I get into Chaos, I want to play a Legion. And my original Legion that I wanted to play for CSM... Not with Death Guard. I always wanted to play Death Guard from the start because I love the idea of Nurgle and I love Typhus. Laura Typhus sort of sold me. But what the CSM Legion have always wanted to do is Word Bearers, because I think Erebus is funny as fuck. Everyone says fuck Erebus. I love Erebus and I think it's great. And yes, fuck Erebus, but it's so funny. The guy, I love people who are just in games who are just bad guys and uncaringly bad. Like, I think it's so refreshing to have a bad guy that is just a bad guy. Like, we see so many times in media these days, he's got a bad guy that's like, oh, he's misunderstood, all these, he was trying to actually protect us from a bigger bad... No, I just want a bad guy to just be an absolute tosser for once. I love it. So, I would probably pick Word Bearers, but the problem is there's nothing in the army that makes Word Bearers. Like, yes, I can spam Possessed. Yes, I can bring Sneamers up, but it's not... There's nothing to make that specifically Word Bearers. It's just a possessed heavy CSM force. There's no Word Bearers characters, and I feel that's one of the big weaknesses of CSM is there's no dedicated character models. Like, we've seen an Iron Warriors now. I hope that's the start of things to come, because that's awesome. But I want to see that treatment given to every... I want Chaos Legions to be treated like the original Space Marine chapters, because they are as important, and they are the reason people play these armies. And... So the entire thing that defines me playing Word Bearers right now is a transfer on a shoulder and a colour scheme. But there's nothing there. I don't get any unique characters, any unique playstyles. So that's kind of big. Yeah, there is a new Word Bearers model, but again, it's for 30k, I believe, isn't it? So it's not really going to help us out. But if that happened, I'd be more interested in CSM. Now, that being said, World Eaters for me, they seem really fun to play, but I worry about longevity with them because they are very one-dimensional as an army. We have a little bit more shooting, obviously, in there with like fortrines and whatnot these days, but it is still at its core fairly one-dimensional. And that, for me, like hurts the longevity of an army, of like me wanting to play it. And that's why I like Death Guard so much, because it has melee, it has shooting, it has like zombie horde, it has these different playstyles. I wish we had more named characters, but as these different playstyles, we got our unique demon engines, things like that, which make it more interesting. You can do Terminator heavy, you can go zombie horde, you can bring tons of tanks, you can focus on shooting, you can focus on playgrounds. There's lots more different builds, whereas in World Eaters, it's just different flavors of charging things. Which is fun, but I worry it would get old. And same with Emperor's Children. Like, again, they've got some cool models, but it's just go fast charge things. Like, there's Noise Marines, but like that's like about it. So it wouldn't put me to there. And Tzeentch, I just dislike. I've never liked Tzeentch. It has no interest to me. So like, if I was to start Chaos again, it would. Demons are very cool, but I think Demons have lost a lot from the rules being simplified. Back when I used to play Demons, they were a lot more fun. Way more fun. Like. If anyone's here, the Warp Storm table was one of my funniest things ever. I loved that thing so much; it was so stupid. But again, they've been sort of simplified down to just be melee profile on big monster, and that's it. So that's kind of lost interest to me. Knights I find boring as hell, would never play Knights. So like, yeah, I probably still would go Death Guard if I had to pick a CSM faction, a Chaos faction all again. But CSM standard again, if it starts getting character support. Yes, stuff like updated Predator tanks and things like that. If it got updated character support, it got updated tanks and models like that, that would be like my second pick there. I just want to see some more flavour put into it for the Legions, not just generic Black Legion. Or like, again, why are we getting models for Red Corsairs before we're getting models for the original Legions? Like, that's the bit that annoyed me as well. Like, I'm glad people like Red Corsairs, but I want the original Legions. That's why I got into Chaos, because they're the cool part. Sorry to go on a bit of a ramble there, people. I do it. I'm going to chat with people. Right. Up next we have, I said at the start of the entire stream, who were you, Mr.? It was Quaid. There you are, Mr. Quaid, who's going to burn his Necrons lovingly for us. So, Mr. Quaid, are you named Quaid on the Discord, my friend? Let's have a look. Quaid. Okay, I can't see a Quaid Discord. Right, so Quaid, if you're in the chat right now, let me know what your Discord name is, or tag me in your post. That would be a lot easier as well, to allow me to find your post and sort of cover that. I'm just going to make sure I'm not missing it anywhere. Super simple, and then we'll go from there, because I do need to obviously be able to find your list. And there's a lot of lists, so I do need to have a bit of a bit of help finding these lists sometimes, because there's a lot of them that get posted. Hello, Mr. Zito. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well, mate. Oh. Death Guard, yes, it also is very fun to hobby with Death Guard. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it. Yes, I like the evil factions, Oliver, which is weird because I never played evil factions before 40k, to be honest with you. I'd always played like Quaid 65. Yeah, if you just tag us, mate, it'd be much easier for me. Thank you. Yeah, I always played good guy factions. Like even on WoW, I started off as the Alliance. Now I play the Horde. And they're not evil, obviously, these days, but I don't know, I always played good guys. Like, I played Mass Effect, and I couldn't, like, make any Renegade decision for so long. I was, like, Paragon all the way. All these kind of things, where it's like any RPG, I'm, like, always been the good guy. So, to join a game, and then hear someone be like, well, they're all kind of just dicks. I was like, oh, so no matter what I choose, I'm going to be a kind of a bad guy. I might as well just go full whole hog and go to Chaos then and become a full bad guy. Because being the bad guy is cool. Thank you, Mr. Quaid. There we go. Mortarion's gunline. Right, okay. So another VV, but we have got a different build here. So we have got the Demon Prince here. We've also got Mr. Mortarion himself. This combination here is seeing a lot of play recently. 2 toughness 12, 4 up invulnerable, 2 up save, 5 up feel no pain models. Very, very annoying to kill, especially with -1 damage. Then we've got a Lord of Virulence over here. Then we've also got double Tallyman. I like double Tallyman. I feel like double Tallyman, you really need to make sure you get the CP. It's very good because you can actually, again, if you have a deployment zone as well, you make sure they're 18 inches apart, like that. Like a bit closer, 1.5 closer, something like this. Yeah, like that is screening out all this zone between them, and then 9 inches either side of them. So it's like that much is screened out by 2 models, which in your backlines can actually screen out a hell of a lot of stuff. So I actually really like this for the points it costs, and to guarantee you get a CP, because obviously 2 chances at 7 is way better than 1 chance at 7. So I feel like it's actually really good and really underutilized. And when I played Champions of Contagion, I actually used this trick. I used this exact this is like 2 double talisman, and I was really happy with it. I thought it was really good. So yeah, happy to see that. Sorry, not double. 10 Blightlord Terminators. Again, this is a really cool list. We're starting to see now this 10 Terminator brick. This 10 Terminator brick, this Blightlords are really having the moment in the sun with Demon Prince and Mortarion. Really good. 1 Chaos Spawn, 1 Flesh Mower Drone. Let's grab these. 1 Chaos Spawn, 1 Flesh Mower Boy. Flesh Mower. Oh, I threw him somewhere. There he is. 1 Flesh Mower Drone. 1, 2, 3 HBL drones. You're going to see a lot of these in lists. Then we have 1, 2, 3 Poxwalkers. So let me grab these real quick. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now what I will say is the core that we've seen being done really well at the moment is the Morty, the Demon Prince. That is staple. Then there's obviously some shooting platforms. I think they have 2 normally, or 3. I think it might be 2 though. And then we've also got Tallyman. And he's got double Tallyman here. Where's the other Tallyman? I've got 8 him. Oh no, I've 8 him. Oh, he's hilarious. Double Tallyman. This has got some decent skirmishing. Now, obviously, it's quite elite. This, and again, I'm going to pull you back to that same discussion about the Lord of Virulence. You are in CP City here. You've got guaranteed CP every turn, pretty much from the double Tallyman, and you got 3 strat. Do you need the Lord of Virulence? Is my question again. Do you really need him here? Because if you don't need him, he can easily become a Typhus. Again, just be able to slot in super easily. Be able to come in, blow things up with some mortal wounds. Threaten backline. Because he's a lot better in combat than Lord of Virulence as well. And again, you're not going to attach him to these guys. You're going to run him solo. Where did I put him there? Something like this. And it also gives you an extra unit. They really don't need it. Like, because you've got Nova infantry in here that can shoot, they have unlimited access to the the full rolls to hit and wound. They have as much as they need. Oh, it's 2 flesh modes, sorry. Double flesh mode. Boop, boop. Oh, and that's not what I copied. You. There we go. Double flesh modes. There we go. Is it double flesh mode? Check. Yes, it is. So, for me, I honestly don't think you need the LOV. Again, it depends how often you find yourself being able to line up 3 guns. Like, if you're on GW terrain, you can actually see it happening a lot more. If you're on UKTC, WTC, the odds that you get all 3 drones lined up at a target just ain't that high. You're normally shooting 1 or 2 tops. And then to line your LOV up to it, it kind of dictates where these guys have to go, because these guys have to go in a place where this guy can get line of sight to give back for these guys. Just kind of gets a bit awkward for them. So I would honestly just cut him out. And again, go with a Typhus or get a 3rd Flesh Mower drone for even for that sake. Anything like that. Because what you normally see at the moment is these go away. It's a super elite list, by the way. Like, this is the list that's doing really well at the moment. I think it's all that gone. And then 10 Plague Marines and a Rhino. But it is turbo elite. And that's also very punishing to play. This is a lot more forgiving to play because you have a lot more trading units. So I do actually like it in that front. But again, for me, it's just I don't feel like the Lord of Virulence needs, because again, this is so expensive already. This is expensive. He's kind of expensive. So adding an extra 100 points to this unit just makes it cost a little bit too much for it to start being efficient. It loses that efficiency. So for me, cut him out and then go and treat yourself to either, like another Flesh Mower drone, a Typhus, just anything that's sort of like that will function on its own without having to have any extra assistance or anything, because these guys are going to play in the middle. This is going to end up playing in the middle. These guys you shoot backline. These are your trading units. So you still got a really good core here. I just don't think you want to put 100 points to this dude in here. I don't think it's going to be worth the extra bit in there. So here's the problem with Zito. You don't win those matchups anyway. The triple HBL drones, if you line all 3 of them up to shoot a Catan, VV still doesn't kill it. Like, again, VV's really bad into Catan. Like, again, 27% win rate, and that's in the top 10% of players in the world. I cut out all the... So if you're not on the top 10 ranked players in the world, you don't even look at your stats. Top 10 ranked players. So even the best players in the world on VV, and I didn't look at the other stats for the Catan players, just the best... just the best Death Guard players still can't win that game. And so you don't need the Lord of Virulence though meds, because you have the 1 command point Creeping Blight, which gives an infantry unit 4 rolls to hit and wound. So you can get it on demand for a CP whenever you need it. Like, the only thing it does is save you a CP, but you don't need it. Because, again, what else are you spending command points on in this army here? An auto explode is going to be rare when you need it, and -1 damage, you can only use it once a turn, and you've already got double Tallyman, so you guarantee getting a CP pretty much, and Demon Prince. You could have tons of CP to do what you need here. So, for me, I would just rather have an extra unit to play the game with. Again, backline, deep striking, things like that with Typhus is just a pain in the ass. And again, the more wounds can always be pretty good. Yeah, it's really bad Zeo. I was actually looking at it for the Atlas app for David Gaylard that I've been working on with him to fill in Death Guard data for. And I went to look at the Necron matchup to put in my thoughts on it. And I was like, let me just make sure the stats are backing up how I feel about this matchup. And I went and looked at it, and it's bad. It is bad. On the bright side, though, Champions of Contagion does have a positive win rate into Catan, and Taliban shits on Catan. It's like a 70% win rate. So, just saying, you want to annoy Catan, play Taliban. Really funny, that. So, yeah. But, yeah, Quaid, like, the list you've got is really solid. I would just probably, like, do this one swap here, and that is about it. Par that. Love the list. Again, if you're in a bit more of a vehicle matchup, these two just easily become Blight Haulers. These Fleshmore drones, they go into Blight Haulers. And then from that there, that's pretty much set in stone. Keep these guys in reserves, the Blight Lords. Play aggressive trades with like Chaos Spawn, Bloat drones. And then have that big turn where you're basically looking to just sit on 3 objectives and win that way. You go, here's a Mortarion Demon Prince on one, Blight Lords are on the other. Try and take me off it. And if it takes you 2 turns to get me off it, I'm probably ahead by 15 points. And you're not going to recover that. So, it really solid list there, Mr. Quaid. And again, I hope you go and burn those Necrons. But for me, just again, LOV would be out, replaced with a Typhus or something, another Scurrant, another drone even. I'd be happy with a drone, more spawn even, and then put an enhancement on nothing because you can't afford one. Because these have an enhancement and he's Mortarion. Or again, just like another Blight Hall, or swap these for Blight Hall potentially if you're in a vehicle matchup. But honestly, super solid list again. Again, VV loves big tough things in the middle, like a Brick of Blight Lords, a Mortarion, a Demon Prince, and it loves loads of little demon engines around it. Like, it's just such a core way to play VV that's been proven time and time again to be really effective against 90% of the meta. Just struggles against Catan at the moment, which is, again, what it is. Right, who is up next? Anybody in the chatters want to get their list looked at next? Let me know, and we will cover yours next. We tried to get at least 4 done a night. Got my sip of my drink. I've been having a ton of fun with Blight Lords. Yeah, Blight Lords are really good. Like, genuinely, Blight Lords are... and it annoys me because people still have bad opinions on Blight Lords, and it's totally caused by Death Shroud. But I actually prefer Blight Lords because, here's the thing, Blight Lords can't fail a 6-inch charge because I'll just shoot the unit to death instead. So, just saying. Just saying. Meds, you did gift the memberships. You have I think you've earned that one. So go for Mr. Meds next. So Mr. Meds, let's find it. Mr. Meds, where are you? There you are, Mr. Meds. Cock, good cock. We'll play by cocks. Champions of Contagion. Right, so we have a Mortarion. We have a Biologus Putrefire. Let me go find him. Biology Professor. Then we have a Lord of Poxes. Where are you at? Lord of Poxes. With Cornucophagus. Oh, we're going to have the talk. We're going to have the talk. It's fine, we'll have the talk. A Lord of Virulence. And then we have Malignant Playcaster. Malignant Playcaster, we like that. Malignant Playcaster. Mortarion, Tallyman, Typhus. Typhus, hey, I like Typhus. Typhus and Tallyman. Right, let me just line these up real quick. You guys up here as well. Shkabooshki. Then we have 1 squad of 10 Plague Marines, 1 squad of 7 Plague Marines, a squad of 5 Plague Marines, a squad of 7... Oh, God, there's hell of a lot of Plague Marines. Okay, let me grab some Plague Marines. 7-man squads. We have 2 7-man squads. 2 7-man squad of Plague Marines. Then we have a 5-man squad of Plague Marines. Then we have a 10-man squad of Plague Marines. Now, I'm going to assume that the war gear listed, is that what you're actually using, or are they just quickly put into a list for just ease of use sake? So 7, 7, 5, 10. 7, 7, 5, 10. Nice, nice, nice. Then we have 5 Blight Lord Terminators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me just cut one. Delete. 5 Blight Lord Terminators. 1 Chaos Rhino. 3 Death Shroud Terminators. Rhino. 3 Death Shroud Terminators. And then 2 squads of Poxwalkers. Death Shroud Terminators. And 2 squads of Poxwalkers. Let me just grab these. Okie pokey. Right. Okay. So, let us get this lined up here. So I think it's going to be something like this, like this, like this. LOV down here, I'm going to guess. These guys are probably in the big 10-man squad. LO thing with one of them. Talion solo. Rhino. I imagine it's like this. So 2 5-man Plague Marines bare bones. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, right. So, and Poxwalkers at the front. And then some Terminators over here. And then Mortarion could sit pretty here. Okay, there we go. So, right. Boys' requirement was Morty stays and no drones. Right, okay, so, Meds, question. So this is for your friend, yeah? Is that, let me have a look. Is this thingy? Right, is this list for yourself or is this list for your friend just because you said Buddy's requirements were no drones? It's not, it doesn't change. I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not covering it because it's not yours, obviously. It's more just so I understand who I'm talking to, if it's you or if it's you to relate to your mate. So, straight up, it's your mates, okay. How attached is your mate to Champions of Contagion? Because I'll say right now, if your friend really wants to run Morty, this is a really bad detachment to do it. Champions of Contagion requires characters in squads. You can't use any stratagems otherwise. And right now, that means we have in this army here 4 units that basically function. Now, that's not a terrible thing. You'll often see about 4 or 5, but it's normally like supported around it by things that don't rely on characters anyway. So, if we were, for example, to have these 10 guys, brilliant. Love this. This is a staple. Really good unit. Has access to fights first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just arrange it like this. So, super solid. Love it in cock. Cock loves this, okay? Love that to pieces. Now, over here, this squad here, this here is 20 points off being something that is infinitely better. So, Lord of Contagion in cock is about 3 times as powerful as Typhus, easily, because he gives the squad sustained hits, and this gives you access to crit 5s for lethal and sustained, which is so much more powerful. Crit 5, lethal, sustained, and lance is so much more powerful than Typhus being in there. You've also got a flat 3 damage weapon. Yes, you have 1 less attack, but you're getting sustained hits on 5s, which means on average you probably land like 7 hits. And the rest of the squad gets that sustained too. So for the 20 extra points that costs, he is a flat out megaton better than Typhus is. So that would be an easy swap there, but I will just put him there for now. So this though, it's like, this is okay. This is fine. This is decent. Gives them crit 5 lethals and, you know, T9. That's pretty good. This is infinitesimally better. Like, this is just way better. So, but again, still a decent unit though. Not upset at this. This is fine. Tallyman is always in cock. It's a super heavy CP detachment, so you're always going to have a Tallyman. Now, this over here, this is a weird one. I don't mind it. I really don't mind. I do not mind this unit. Rerolls to wound is always good, and you can still get crit 5s, which means your bolters can lethal on 5s, your Reaper auto cannon can sustained on 5s, your blight launchers can lethal on 5s as well. The only thing that doesn't obviously benefit from that is the Spewer, but again, the Spewer rerolls its wound rolls because a lot of rerolls. This is okay. It is not going to set the world on fire, but it is a decent shooting unit. Can probably be taken up. Again, I do prefer Blight Lords in 10s. I feel like you either Blight Max or you don't, just to be down with the kids there. But That is honestly, like, this is okay as a skirmish unit. You can make it T9, which means it's going to be a bit annoying to deal with for your opponent, and you still have some decent shooting output there, which is also decent. So, again, I'm going to put this on the okay side of things. So, like, this is acceptable. These are solid. Now, 5-man bare bones Plague Marines and 7-man bare bones Plague Marines have pretty much no place in COC. They are just not very good. Like, straight up, if you want to run a 7-man Plague Marine squad, just find 60 points and put a, put a Plague Caster in it. A melee squad with a Plague Caster is actually really good, because its normal combination is Biologist plus Plague Caster, because this gives them crit 5s and lethal on all the weapons, which is important because all of their guns are not lethal, so giving lethal to the guns is a big deal. However, if you run a full 7-man squad of melee weapons and maybe a Flamer, you don't have to worry about the lethal hits bit. All you care about is the crit 5s, but you're playing champions, so you can get crit 5s for a command point. So if you bring a Plague Caster in here, for example, now you've got a really decently hard-hitting melee squad, which can crit 5 sustained lethal, with tons of melee attacks, with decent AP. That would be good, bare bones bad. But that good, bare bones bad. Now this squad here with the Lord of Poxes, this is okay. This is okay. I would probably have to do a Zito play here where this sits in reserve. Like, really, I want to see another Rhino if you're going to run this many Plague Marines, because Walking is dead. But Zito does play, I think he does a 5-man with his, because you need to get some points, for example. A 5-man with all melee weapons, maybe a Melter or a Spear or whatever you want. But, like, at least, you know, the heavy Plague weapons and a Power Fist and a lot of Poxes is decent from reserves, because what you can do is you can literally look at the table, you can rapid ingress the unit in 18 inches away from any of the good shooting, so you're just like, cool, I'm not going to get shot. Then you walk up and then charge them in their turn, and you just do a bunch of damage. Like, again, you can crit 5s, he hits pretty punchy hard with that Lord of Poxes in there, it's decent. The extra 2 Marines don't really need in there, because the Lord of Poxes brings enough punch himself, you don't want to make it overcosted. Cornucophagus is the worst enhancement ever. Please do not take Cornucophagus. It is a 35-point enhancement to give him a 2nd Contagion, which is just not good. So, I'll break it down for you why it's not good. Cornucophagus is basically a 50% cost increase on this guy. Now, this guy is already considered a little overcosted. Not by much, but a little bit. So, increasing his points by 50% is not helping that front. So, it's too expensive. It sounds really good because you get a 2nd Contagion, okay? Now, the problem with that, though, is that actually think logically, what is that Contagion doing for you? Because if you pick -1 to hit, I tell you right now, -1 to hit ain't saving 5 Plague Marines and a lot of Poxes. It ain't saving 7 Plague Marines and a lot of Poxes. Plague Marines are unfortunately very squishy. They shouldn't be, because it's Plague Marine, but it is these days. So, especially without -1 damage, even at T8, that ain't saving them. So, that is not really worth it. -1 save, you'll probably be using 90% of the time for your army to deal damage, because COC is a high damage army that wants to to smack people. So, -1 save is probably default. But again, if you default into that, you're probably not going to need to pick it with Cornucophagus. And -1 OC in leadership doesn't really help you, because the idea of this unit is to go in, kill something off a point, and then basically exist in there. Now, your OC2 naturally, you're supposed to charge the target and get the first hit. Chances are, if you've used this unit correctly, you've either killed what was on the objective or maimed it and mauled it so badly that you already out OC it, because Plague Marines have good OC. In which case, -1 OC is not really going to help you. So for me, Cornucophagus is just an absolute flush toilet of an enhancement. So I would drop that. And I would probably drop this guy to a 5-man and some Plague Marines and put them in reserves. Now I would probably get rid of some more Plague Marines here. Like this here is already feeling a bit bad. This is feeling more championsy. We've got another character unit over here. Again, we can use some of those points from those Marines we dropped to upgrade him to Lord of Contagion. Now this is more like championsy. This is cooking a bit. Now, Morty, you can make him work. He doesn't gain anything from champions. It's one of his weakest attachments to be in. However, he is still Morty. He's still a giant annoying prick to kill. He's got a toughness. He's got quite a good toughness. He's durable. You can do the trick with the reactive move where you put the Rhino behind a wall. These guys hop out on the other side of the wall, absolutely shoot something to death. stay there, and if your opponent walks anywhere within 9 inches of them and Morty's back here or something, you go, cool, thanks for walking near me, I'm going to reactive move now, finish within 3 inches of the Rhino, re-embark the Rhino, and now they're nice and safe in your opponent's turn. So, like, there is still, like, Morty still gets value. He obviously has Fight on Death 2 up as well to give to them, which is really nice. So, like, obviously keeping them alive, or at least getting that extra bit of value. They do have Fight first, but if you ever get caught with your pants down or you need to save the CP, you can obviously also Fight on Death. And he's also just a big distraction. So, he's not great in Champions, but if you really wanted to take him in there, then you can. You can 100% do that. That's fine. Poxwalkers are good. Poxwalkers are solid. Again, if you want to run Typhus, like, genuinely, Typhus and 20 Pox is super slept on in Champions. Typhus and 20 Pox is actually pretty damn good. Giving them T6 is super annoying to deal with. For Poxwalkers especially, it's just annoying to deal with. It's just an annoying, durable unit. Not super hard to kill, but requires a lot more than you'd like it to. And you can even do, like, weird things where you can get, like, Fight First, crit 5s on it if you put another character in there. Not I'd recommend it, but you can do if you wanted to give it, like, you know, Noxious Blightbringer. So, like, this here is already feeling a little more cook, a little more chef in the kitchen there. Ideally, I'd try and get like a second Rhino, and if that's even possible, obviously I'd need to know the points and like what we've actually saved in and what we've cut. We've obviously lost 35 from Cornucophagus here. We've got another 30 points back from a Malignant Playcaster from the 5 Plague Marines that got cut. So those 5 went away. They give us 35 back. He's 35. We dropped 2 Plague Marines as well. That's then going to get us the extra Rhino. So like something like this, actually not too bad. Like this is kind of like, this is a lot more improved straight off the rip and will do you a lot better in Champions. It's still like, it's not optimized perfectly because Morty's here, but again, this, if you just want to play at your club or have some fun games or just try and, you know, go to a tournament for the first time, this is serviceable. 100%. Totally fine. But what I would say is, if you wanted to, like, it would also work really well in VV. Plague Marines in VV are fantastic because they can just get 1 command points, 4 rolls to hit and wound. At that point, you can run the bare bones. Like at that in VV, I've ran a 30 Plague Marine list before, and only 10 of them were led. The other, sorry, 15 were led. I had 1 big 10-man like this. I had a second 5-man with a Biological Putrefire, and the other 3 5-mans were just bare bones, and they did hell of a lot of work because of the 1 command point reroll all hits and wounds. So it really depends how you want to like make it work. If you really like the idea of mass Plague Marines, VV and Champions can work. It is a lot more high skill cap to play because Plague Marines are quite unforgiving. But honestly, it is solid. Like, you will do perfectly, like, okay with this list. There's no... Please do not do that to my army. It's just, like I say, it's just a few things that, like, this is right now is a lot more optimized and feels a lot more better. And we'll get a lot more play out of Champions because now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 led squads, all getting value. Double Rhino to keep them nice and safe and do Rhino plays and do actions, things with. And we've got Poxwalkers, and we've still managed to keep Mortarion in here as well. So, like, this would, hopefully this is, like, something for you to look at and sort of, like, go, okay, cool, I'm happy to do that. There's no drones in here. You will struggle on the long-range shooting. Obviously, you have none. So you will have to be quite aggressive with this list, naturally, or stage up and have a big go turn where you push out Morty, push out Plague Marines to do a bunch of damage. But, again, it's, you know, we have to take trade-offs. If we're not going to bring drone stuff, we're going to obviously suffer out a long-range shooting a little bit. But as long as you're okay with that and you just play a bit differently to accommodate for it, it's no reason to say it can't do well or can't at least, you know, win some games, for example. So yeah, hopefully sort of that helps you sort of make a little bit more efficient Champions of Contagion list that will do a little bit better on the tabletop for you. So yeah, and thank you to Meds for submitting that one on your behalf. So we have time probably for one more detachment here. So I did see Mr. Micway in before, and I'm probably going to have to give it to Mr. Micway because I have he has been here since the very start of the channel, and I think I've only covered like one of his lists ever. So I'm going to give it to him on this one. And again, do not worry, if you're on the chat right now, I will make sure to do yours next one as well. We try and get through as many as we can. Please don't be another Virulent Victorian on mic. I'm going to yell at you if it is. I'm going to yell at you, Mr. Micway. Virulent Victorium. Oh, you douchebag. Okay, it's different. It's quite different. Okay. Sweet. Okay, I'm just... okay. So, we have a Biological Putrefire. We do have a Malignant Playcaster. We have a lot of Poxes. Okie dokie. We have a Noxious Blightbringer. This is bloody Zito's doing, isn't it? What? Bing Bong Bell? We've got the Bing Bong Bell boy. Then we have a Tallyman. Tallyman from up here. Where's the Tallyman? Oh, there we go. Tallyman. Plague Marines. So 5-man Plague Marine and then a 10-man Plague Marine. Don't know how to snipe that squad. A 10-man Plague Marine. So again, we've got the classic combo of the 10-man with the Biologist. I'm just going to pull this down here to some space. We've got a 5-man with a lot of Poxies, and I'm going to guess that's with the Noxious Blightbringer, because I know Zeo likes to do that combination, put it in reserves, come in with a +1 move and the reroll charges, which is again really nice. So then let me just check the weapon options. So we've got, yeah, all the heavy plague weapons down here, and a Blight Launcher, and a Plasma Gun, and a Spewer. Then this one is the sort of standard guns mixed. We have a Rhino, we have a Chaos Predator, like to see. We do have a Demon Prince as well. Now, there's no Revolting Regeneration on this Demon Prince, though. Is that intentional, or was that a mistake, Mr. Mike? Because that is quite a hot take, I won't lie. That is quite a hot take in VV. Double Predator Destructor, sorry. Double Predator Destructor. Predator Destructor, Predator Destructor. Boom, boom. Double Chaos Spawn. We love to see it, we love to see it. Good trading, good trading. We love to see this kind of thing. Also, I want to ask you guys a quick question while I'm just doing this. Tomorrow's stream topic, we're debating what we want to talk about. Do you guys want us to cover the data slate? Because I'll tell you right now, obviously there's not much to cover in terms of us, but I will say there's a lot of feelings, and it will be a bit ranty, and it will be a bit of a not a rage stream, but it definitely won't be it won't necessarily be positive. But again, sometimes not all streams can be positive. If I feel a certain way about something, the only way for you guys to, you know, trust me and have credibility in me is to be honest. And like, if I honestly think this is the most dogshit and worst data sheet I've ever seen, then I'll tell you that, because I won't lie to you. But again, just be prepared. It would be not exactly the most positive stream, but I will also talk about, you know, things that I would have expected, things that I'm hoping for to see change in the future. So yeah, let us know if you've got any ideas for topics tomorrow, because like default right now is me going on an absolute mad one on the data slate. Double HBL drone, a goddamn Hellbrute. Mike, what is it with you and these Hellbrutes? You're obsessed. You're absolutely obsessed with these Hellbrutes. Like a Hellbrute. 1 Mythic Blight Hauler, 2 Mythic Blight Hauler, and 20 Poxwalkers. Yes, Aiden will yell at you again. And 20 Poxwalkers. Okie pokey. Right, back to the chat. Right, it is intentional. Right, okay. So, right. So the no feel, no pain, I won't lie, is a little bit more, is a little bit of a hot take. I won't lie, but if points are really tight, I can understand it. I obviously think that Feel No Pain is pretty mega and essential, but it depends. If you're using him a bit more passively to just use the free strats and whatnot, he is still a T12 model, which is, you know, still something to, hoping for a 2-hour stream with a new paint pot revamp. Lol. True. So there is that. So he's okay, you know, the strat is still really good because this is a CP hungry detachment. So that is the thing. I imagine this is being played in reserves like Zeo does. You've obviously got a decent shooting core here with double Predator, double HBL, double the fake Blight Hole, and the big scary 10-man Plague Marine squad. No Terminators at all, is that correct? No Terminators. Let me just double check I don't miss them. Yeah, no Terminators at all. That is also quite unique. Obviously, you normally see some Death Shroud. You'll normally see some Blight Lords. This one sort of eschewing all of that there. And again, I'm kind of okay with that. It's got a bit more of a shooty firepower core here. Again, the shooting is pretty brutal here as well. The Hellbrute can also... So this is the only thing I've got is... I imagine these two squads fight for rapid ingress. Because I don't think you're deploying these on the board because they're too slow. But again, you have turn 2, turn 3. So it's not the worst thing. You can rapid ingress one turn, one the second turn. Again, these guys can just bring on normally. And even bank for an 8-inch charge with a reroll. So that would be, you know... That would be something you could try and do. I mean, for me, it's a bit of a strange one. It is a really bit of a strange one. I'm just going to put this over here to make it a bit nicer for me. The shooting core is really solid. And I think if you're in a meta where there's a lot of guns, not a lot of guns, sorry, a lot of infantry, this list is going to hurt like hell. This list is going to really shoot the crap out of things because you get a +1 AP up here, these guys with a blast. These guys, this guy can counter-charge really nicely and obviously punch pretty decently with this squad here. Obviously, this squad can also punch as well. Just got some decent bits going for it. But I do worry about how squishy it could be. It feels like it could be quite squishy, this army, just because, again, no invuln's up here, no invuln's down here. This guy doesn't have the feel no pain. This guy's no invuln. So I worry, like, if someone has a really hard-hitting fast army and they get on top of you, could deal a bunch of damage. Ah, yes, you are on I forget you're on GW terrain as well now. So, again, the shooting makes a lot more sense there. So, one thing I've noticed from watching people on Wargames Live, it seems like Contagion on GW boards is a lot harder to spread because of how open it is. So, like, trying to get to the backline shooting units is a lot harder. So, actually leaning into a more of a shooting build like this makes sense. Again, I don't think it's going to, like, take on Katana and stuff, but I know you're not playing against that kind of thing in your local meta where you are. I know you've been told to nerf yourself because, obviously, you smashed your last league in as well. You're against 30 Blightlord Terminators Death Lord's Chosen list. So, you're actually in a really good space to actually deal with that. They're playing Death Lord's Chosen, so they have no access to -1 damage or any defensive stratagems. So this guy's going to have a field day. These guys are going to have an absolute field day. These guys are going to help everyone else have an absolute field day. And then these guys here are going to have an absolute field day. And even him's going to have an absolute field day. So as long as in that matchup, if there's 30 Blightlords, that is a lot. That is, you know, obviously a lot in reserves. There's a lot of things that are... I imagine he's probably going to start 2 squads of reserves, 1 on the board. You've still got plenty of ability to sort of engage with that. You got Spawn, like, again, with what's he going to kill Spawn within that list? Because that is, like, literally, what? That is, like, 3/4 of his list almost, if he's got characters in those. So that is, yeah, the top count, the flat 3 damage on the autocannons. So that is, like, 1,500 points almost in BLT bricks. You just put out Spawn, you just put out, even the Halls. The Hall is your least valuable. So, again, I'm not going to build your list because you know what you're doing. So what I'm going to say is, these, I'm just going to spot out this. These are what you're going to use to force those BLTs out. You're going to say, hey, come and react to these. Because all this is, obviously these as well. These are, actually, no, I'd say these are actually your screeners. So this is like, these are screens and utility. This is your actual core damage component. And then this here is your bait. He's also got some Death Shroud. Again, Death Shroud I'm not super worried about because, again, once the Blightlords die, the Death Shroud will get a charge onto something as long as you kind of like make sure the things he's getting charged onto are these things. Or like, you know, even like once these guys have disembarked for the turn, like if these guys hop out the round, shoot something, drive that Rhino clean past them and just park it like sideways just to say, hey, pushing back all this stuff. I'm going to delete the thing that comes in here and then basically screen out further with the Rhino. I honestly think you'll be okay. His biggest threat is just going to be trying to overwhelm you. If you banks all Ultra 9-inch charges, then you're just fucked, and like that's just, you know, bad luck. But again, you can push Poxwalkers forward to stop that happening as easily. But yeah, like counter charge with the Death Guard Hellbrute. These bloat drones are the biggest thing that you don't want to get tied up. Shoot away with pretty much. I even consider putting a Predator in reserve so it can just come in at an angle and just start shooting away. It's guaranteed you get you the buff where you need it. He's not going to have much defending his home. So if that's the case, like this unit in reserves, he's actually going to put a lot of pressure on his home objective. Because again, he's going to have to screen it out. And if he's got that many Terminators, if he wants to set a unit at 10 behind a wall to screen you out, that's winning, technically. You're getting away with that. So like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really worry with this list, to be honest, Mike. I think you'll be actually okay with it. Like I said, just play it smart, force them to trade, or at least open up into these guys first, then retaliate decently. I think you can easily pick up a 10-man brick a turn. Easily. Easily, like, potentially even 2. If you can follow it with charge, definitely. Be careful of Overwatch, though. That is going to be the biggest problem here. Overwatch is going to be a pain in the ass. Obviously, if you can shoot flamers at them, they can shoot flamers at you. So that is a bit like, Is there any way we can use Hellbrutes in Taliban? So, Saki Aiden says, yes, just put it in the list. But Hellbrutes are just weird. Like, they're fine. Like, the thing is with Hellbrutes is you can put him in, like, just reserves, and you can just come out of there, rapid ingress, and run at your opponent. It's cheap. It punches pretty decently hard. It's got +1 to wound. It'll get the job done. Now, if you're playing more of a reserved game with Taliban, where you kind of, like, you could make a build where you focus a lot on OC and just basically controlling the board. They actually do really well as, like, linebackers. Because, again, no one wants to run you down when you've got 2 Hellbrutes or, you know, a Hellbrute just sat behind your wall. Because these things, they actually punch kind of hard. They hit on 3s, but they wound on 2s. And they can get 7 attacks or something like that. That is you can't really ignore that. They'll win anything in the game on 2s. So, that hurts. That genuinely hurts. It is... Yeah, if you don't expect much, it'll surprise you. So you can either... oh yeah, you do have access to reroll hit strat. So you can have Nurglings. So you could, for example, have this guy step up to charge something. Have Beckoning Blight come in. Maybe you're taking some, you're taking some play over here with Poxwalkers. Give him 3 Nurglings. They charge in first. He charges in. He's now going to have 3s to hit reroll and everything. Wounded on 2s. You basically put in 7 wounds on something at that point. And then you're saying, hey, AP, 4 potentially just die against any vehicle. So like he can put, if he connects, often a Hellbrute, if it connects, it will just get value back instantly because it's cheap. And the things you want to connect to are vehicles, and if you kill a vehicle, there's a good chance that vehicle was probably more than 115 points, providing it wasn't an empty transport. And then they also have to deal with the Hellbrute, so he gets value from absorbing stuff as well. Yeah, he can protect Plague Bearers and Heroic, things like that. He's also just cheap and needs to be killed and just be annoying. Like, they're fine. They're not as bad. Like, again, I'd like them to move a bit faster. I genuinely would. But again, if you play it in Taliban, and again, Taliban can also put a lot of pressure on your opponent out of nowhere because the 6-inch builds. So you can drop Great Unclaimed ones, Rotaguses. Then if you, for example, if you're, I'm going to think about it like this. Think about it like this. I drop that guy. I have a lot of boxes with the Beckoning Blight on. He's been in a Rhino. He hops out. He's got aggressive now. I'm going to go 12-inch deep strike, 12-inch deep strike. So these guys are both 6 inches away from my opponent. The same turn I did that, I had my Hellbrutes who were hiding behind the wall with the Lord of Boxes. One of them runs forward, the other one's run forward, or like one's rapid ingress last turn. Somewhere over here, so now he's moving up. All this is in your face. You're probably also losing your objective to a squad of Plague Bearers. So there's probably they probably dropped in. They're going to make a 5-inch charge as well from the Beckoning Blight. Like, Taliban is really good at just this overwhelming pressure at once. So if all this charges in, blue, that goes up there, that goes there, that goes there, he makes charge, whatever. Like, what's your priority here? Because the annoying thing here is that these things are probably the more damage dealing, but they ain't the things that are going to be, tying you up forever and taking your objectives off you. That's Rotagus and this fat boy. And these guys take a decent amount of effort to kill. So if you shoot at these, you ain't shooting at these. So if you wanted to run, Hellbrutes in these, they actually can do a lot of work as being like a threat overload part of the puzzle. So yeah, they can work. Honestly, Hellbrutes can work because they're cheap. Do they need some help, really? Like, could they do with a points drop? Probably. Could they do with a new model or some better stats? Yeah, probably. But there is... Doesn't matter how... Like, it doesn't move very fast. It doesn't have great ways to get into combat because it's a vehicle. It struggles trade. But at the end of the day, there is something to be said about 7 attacks of flat damage 3 that wound everything in the game on 2s. I have double flamers as well. So, yeah, there is. Again, there's always going to be value there as long as you can connect decently. They will do good work for you. So yeah, you can make them work, mate. You can 100% make them work in Taliban. Right, everybody, that is going to bring us to the end of tonight. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for submitting your list for tonight. Again, I'll be back tomorrow with the guys. Again, let me know the topic you want to hear. Do you want to hear our opinions on the data slate and why GW needs to do better in the future? So let us know. Part of that, we will be back. I'm going to try and get some videos out this week. Apologies, it has been Natalie's birthday week last week. Well, technically it's her birthday day is tomorrow, but we had that over the weekend. So we were doing a bit of celebrating. That's why it's been a bit quiet on the video front. I'll try and get a video out for you probably on Wednesday. And then we'll kind of go forward. It's going to be a bit of a weird downtime. Obviously, the rumours are 11th is, being revealed at the end of the month. That'll obviously then really spark a lot of hype and a lot of thoughts from what they reveal. And we can go from there. But for now, it's basically going to be a little bit more of just the usual on the channel. And, trying to help out people adapt to the ongoing, Necron Catan meta for another 3 goddamn months. Yay! Learn Taliban is what I'm going to say. If you want to beat Catan, learn Taliban or Champions. That is your best bet. That is your absolute best bet. The math say, the stats say so too. So, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Thank you for everyone in the chat that's got involved and had fun with it. And thank you to people who have also super chat and donated. I really appreciate that. You're never going to let me live down Tatty by, are you? God damn it, chat. God damn it. Typing in Tatty by. The bullying me, they're typing in Tatty by. Damn it, Steven. Oh, dear me. So, yeah, thank you again for everyone. Have a nice evening, morning, day, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we'll be back tomorrow with another weekly stream of DRP. And again, we'll have a laugh, we'll have a fun with it. Let us know what you want to hear from it. And yeah, until then, for now, take care, stay rotten, bye bye. I can never find the button to end the dance. There we go. Also, yeah, we nerf Necrons, please. That would be great. I'm just gonna like dance around with this for a little bit.
In the void, where the warm winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Great warden stir, betrayal takes shape. Typhon's whispers, sealing the fate.
Stop playing them, don't stop looking them. I'm going crazy. Okay. See you everyone. Bye-bye.
Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight. Chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide. Mortarion's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward. Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The legion reborn, their fate revealed.
Nerf the Necrons, please do it for me. I'm back again. Nerf them hard. Remove Catan from the game, Josh Roberts.
Retreat. Celebration will wing their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The lion's gate, where hope was torn. Giant eyes blade meets the Typhus herald, chaos born. Mortarion's wrath, the plague sworn. In the warp, their legacy thrives. Eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarion's fall, Typhus ascends. The death god song, it never ends.